This is your Hot with Scott Kellner, host of the Digital Mentorship podcast, and this is Overrated or Underrated. Take a second and take a break in the show, and I do this thing where we play Underrated and Overrated with Jaedri Wood.
Let's go.
Cue the music. There's actually no music, but I'll edit some in. I'll edit some in later. So I have a list of about 15 to 20 things here.
Okay.
You can just say underrated or overrated. And if you want to, explain, if you want to take 5 or 10 seconds and explain why you think is underrated or overrated, that would be totally fine. If you don't want to do that, I can just go on to the next one. So the first one is, because this is the Digital Mentorship podcast, the first one is mentorship.
Underrated.
Podcasts.
Underrated.
Bitcoin.
Overrated.
Overrated.
I hate Bitcoin. I've done so many projects throughout my international business and econ. Oh my God. Anyway, I hate cryptocurrency. I get it, but overrated for sure.
That's great. Entrepreneurship.
Overrated.
Overrated, really?
I think I actually read this interesting article. It's called the 7-20-10 rule. So essentially 70% of any idea you have is total crap. 20% are okay, and then 10% are really good, right? The idea is you have to come up with a mass quantity of ideas, and then 10% of those are going to be good. I think the 10% is taught way too much as you're going to be Steve Jobs and just have this phenomenal idea for Apple. And I don't think that's how it is. I think entrepreneurship is a lot of grunt work that people may not expect, or at least wasn't taught to me. So overrated for that reason.
That was a fantastic answer. Soccer.
Underrated, of course.
Interviews.
Overrated.
Resumes.
Ooh, probably overrated.
There's LinkedIn now, right? So, why do you really need a resume? College education.
Ooh. Man, there's no middle answer? Okay. Overrated.
Overrated. Political science.
Overrated. I hate political science. Was the worst coming in at, the professor that taught is now gone at Westminster, but it was 2016, the most tumultuous election historically to date at that point. And we didn't talk about the election once. We watched movies. I've heard by somebody who I'm not a huge fan of that political science teaches you how to think, or what to think instead of how to think. And I've just hated it ever since.
I wasn't sure which way you were going to go on that, so right on. New York style pizza.
What's New York style? That's not deep dish,
thin.
Right?
Yes, thin.
Underrated.
Underrated. You love thin crust pizza.
Yep.
Major League Soccer, like the MLS, as an organization. Overrated. You like Premier League?
Yeah, frankly, soccer's boring to watch. I understand why people don't get it. You score 2 to 5 goals, maybe. If it's a good game, and it's a whole lot of just watching people run. So.
Internships.
Underrated.
Competitive debate.
Underrated. We're the nerds. We're awesome.
Scrum Agile.
Overrated at the moment.
You think it's overrated? Too many people make too big a deal about it?
I actually just wrote a blog about how Agile as a concept is good. Implementation, it fails the vast majority of the time. Yeah. So I think right now it's a great idea in theory, but people fail to implement it effectively the majority of the time.
Networking.
Underrated.
Speaking a foreign language.
Underrated.
I threw in some softballs, I guess. What you would call it. Well, that was a great episode, I feel like, of Underrated or Overrated with Jaedri Wood. Jaedri, thank you so much. Bravo.
Thank you.
Applause to you.